Hi friends, happy winter solstice. This is the shortest day of the year or the darkest day of the year. And so it's a really great time to look inward and reflect and kind of process this past year before we start Capricorn season, which is tomorrow, which is, when days are going to start getting longer from this point on. And the new year is coming soon. So I wanted to share with you my winter solstice journaling practice that I've been doing for the last few years. I found it originally from Rachel Brathen's podcast, YogaGirl Conversations from the Heart. It's a really great podcast. I recommend it. She does both a year in review and an intention setting journaling practice. I combine them, and I just spent the last 2.5-3 hours writing. And so I wanted to share a little bit with you about how to do it. If you were interested, of course, check out Rachel Brathen's podcast, or feel free to pause this this short video after each journal prompt and write it out yourself, and see if that leads you to your word of the year, because that's what this practice does. It gets all of your thoughts about the last year, about what you want this next year to be, and then it kind of simmers it down or brings it down into a word of the year. And it's been a really powerful practice for me over the past few years, because I've been able to use that word as a guiding force when I have a decision to make, or when I'm looking at two options and I say, will that bring me more or less of this word, right? Or how can I get more of the word that I'm looking for? And so it's been really a guiding force for me. So when you think about the year in review, some of the immediate questions to ask yourself and to maybe journal about: what was 2022 like for you? It's a good opener, right? And then do maybe a year at a glance. So I actually went through my Google Photos and scrolled through my photos and made, January, February, March, kind of wrote out some of the big things that happened throughout the year. Then I wrote the biggest ups and downs of the year as a whole. And then some of these questions: what are you grieving from 2022? What are you celebrating from 2022? And then think about how the year went in 4 areas: physical health, social health, mental health, and spiritual health. Physical health is obvious, the stuff with your body. Social health is all your relationships, people, pets, family, friends, as well as your home life. Mental is anything with your mind. So it's both emotions, but also intellectual stuff like your job often. And then spiritual is the last one. And so your soul work, your inner work, your self-development. And so I write about each of those 4 and what this past year was like in those 4 areas. And then a few more prompts. What was the biggest challenge? What can those challenges do for you in 2023? What did you learn from them? What was the biggest mistake? What were some wise decisions? What were you proud of? What goal did you make but didn't reach? What did 2022 teach you? What needs to be let go of? What needs to be forgiven? What was a resource that helped you throughout the year? A person, place, thing, a tool, a technique. What was 2022 like in one sentence? And then I did some sentence stems where I just wrote, in 2022, and I finished that sentence however I wanted. And then again, in 2022, and finished it in a different way. And I did that about 10 times to just see all the different ways that 2022 showed up for me. What was wonderful in 2022? Who were you closest to in 2022? What are you grateful for? Write a huge thank you list, of course. What were any hard lessons that you had that you don't want to have to learn again, right? Because we get these lessons again and again until we truly learn them. So what was a hard lesson that you learned that you don't want to have to learn again? What do you want to leave behind and let go of? What do you want to take with you? Highs and lows overall. If you did this before, what was your word of 2022? And how did that play out for you? And then take some time to write 2022, thank you for every lesson and every blessing. That's one of the things Rachel does. I absolutely love that. And then take a break. Get up, maybe refill your tea. That's what I did earlier. Shake it out, dance a little bit, move your body, maybe do some sun salutations if that's your thing. And then we can go into the next round, which is intention setting for 2023. So the first big one is, what do you want in 2023? What feeling do you want to embody in 2023? At the end of 2023, what do you want to look back and say that you've accomplished? Write out what your ideal life would look like for you in 2023. The way I do it is kind of like most days and then. So like most days, I want to have my day look like this, and then the additives, right? So what would ideal life look like? And then I think about 4 categories again: physical health, social health, mental health, spiritual health. And I create 3 goals under each area. I know that's a lot, that's 12 goals, but they can be really tiny. Drink more water, that's been a goal of mine in the past, not this year because I've been doing it. Or anything at all. It can be big, small, doesn't matter what it is, but have 3 different kind of bullets underneath each of those 4 categories. And then the big question: to make this life happen, I need. And write whatever comes from that. And then a few more prompts. What boundary do you want to set in 2023? What are some self-care practices you want to bring with you into 2023? My intention for 2023 is, and finish that sentence, right? Whatever comes to you. And as you do, you'll start to realize that you've been using some of the same words again and again. You'll realize there's some themes or things that show up for you. And this is where you start to bring it down from all of this text, all of these things you've been thinking about, and really start to bring it down into smaller sentences. So start writing in the present tense the things that you want to have, the feelings you want to embody, and write it as a positive affirmation in the present tense. So I am, right? I already am. And as you write a few of those and more of those, you'll start to come up with some words that stand out to you, and then pick your word, right? And then you can write that out. I am, and that word, and that's your word of the year. So I'm excited to share. My word of last year was freedom, which meant a lot of different things. And my word for this coming year, for 2023, is consistency. That's what I need. I need it. So I already am it. I am consistent in all of my practices, including my journaling practice, for sure. So I hope this was helpful. Happy winter solstice. This is really a time for rest. You know, our bodies are not made to be in a capitalist society. They're made with nature to rest. So take this time, this winter, this darkness, to really rest your body, rest your mind, rest your soul, and get ready for what springtime will bring us in the new year. Happy winter solstice. Bye, y'all.